I left Iran in these clothes. And these were the leftovers. I never threw them away. For some reason, I don't know why, but I kept them. And when it came to share a story, I just remembered these in the closet, and I carried them around Europe with me. But anyway, getting down to these clothes, I remember memories that I want to share with you. These clothes hold more memories in them than that day that I left Tehran and I set my foot on the airplane, and I was quite happy about that. I was sure, I was conscious about that decision. I had no other way. But they certainly hold more memories. And it's funny, I look at them and I remember first the memories of gender-based sexual harassment that I experienced in my life since I was 13. And it is really the first thing that comes to me, and all types of it. I experienced all types of it. Verbal, non-verbal, physical. It's like it becomes part of your life. But then I kind of have to add it that those guys who were doing this, they weren't the people of the regime. Because this outfit, you should know what we call it actually. We call this outfit, in the academia, in Iran at least, the no hijab outfit that is worn by women who don't agree with the law, but they have to do it anyway. So people have different definitions of different things. I respect that to some extent, but in our story, this definition is, for my biological family, was like, okay, this outfit, girl, this is a straight ticket to hell. And, well, I didn't get that one. I mean, maybe I got, but I just don't know. I survived it, but whatever. But let's say another definition would be the regime itself. They call it, this outfit is a ticket straight to please come and visit the police forces and facilities, because this is not following the Islamic regime's law, even though I wore it in summertime. It's my summer outfit, basically. And exposing my arms and everything. So I got arrested, actually. I got that second ticket 5 times. So, and the last time was 2017 in the same outfit. So, I can look at these clothes and still remember that how my family actually, they owned my body. It was an ownership thing. They were deciding what, where, when, and how it should look like. And it was definitely them being in authority of deciding for it. I remember somehow, strangely, my body was like always sexually provocative and problematic. And I couldn't understand this. I was a little girl. And I was being told even how to feel about my body. It was that level of authority. So I hated my breasts when they started to grow out of my chest. And I was like, please, guys, go back in. I don't want you on me. Because part of the proper manner of a girl is like, you're not supposed to present your chest. But wait, how can I not present my chest when I have breasts? It's just part of my body. I'm born a girl. Or how I hated my period. Because in and out of the school, I was everywhere told that your blood is, according to Islam, najis. So now najis is a definition of beyond, of filthy. It's a complicated thing. You just have to avoid the thing. It's just avoid the shit. The shit is there, just avoid. So it was me, that shit, basically. But it's the way they see it. I don't see it that way. But I'm quite comfortable with my blood now. It's just blood. But I even hated my body more when I was sexually assaulted almost by an uncle. And I kept silent about it until my mid-20s, because how could I talk about something that the problem was within my own very existence? So, I was really the problem. Like, my father was like, hey, you cannot wear this like length of shorts or skirt in front of your teenage brother. And I was like 13, 14. And I was like, but why? We were okay. We were watching football. And he was like picking up a fight and beating me because this is sexually provocative for your teenage brother. And I was like, is it? He's really watching the football stuff. And he's not looking at me. And then to this day, I still wonder that, did he really worry about my brother, or was it about himself? I have no idea. But moving on with the story, I'm telling you that I was watching other girls at a school, and I was constantly involved in this competition, or let's say comparison, not competition. But then I was comparing myself that, but wait, why my life is so miserable as a kid? And then I was noticing that actually they are like a little bit more open-minded, families gentle with their kids, etc., etc. But it's just me. It's unfortunate. It's unlucky. But what I didn't realize, it was that little girl, that was me, was actually born into a battle that was larger than she was thinking. An unfair battle with a little girl, between a little girl and big guys. The big guys are the regime's laws, a totalitarian law that is designed to control every single movement of the people, of the nation of it. Or the guys out there on the streets, the abuse that I was getting from them constantly, or the family. So it was like really unfair, like these big guys putting the leash on me, owning me, literally my body, the only thing that I have in this world, basically. So the story goes on to the little girl is just thinking, so how can I survive this? It's really like, these are really big guys. And she couldn't figure it out at first, but then she's so little, but as much as she was small, she had this big, giant amount of will for life. And they say there is a way if there's a will. That's so true. And the little girl also was a bookworm, and she was reading and reading and reading and reading. And she thought, well, if I take it from here, from this reading stuff, I might have a chance not only to survive this pull and push with the leash keepers, but also, who knows, maybe the fairy tale ends well and I crack the code of freedom and I set myself free. So she kept on reading and questioning and talking, and she was throughout this way bitten physically. She was threatened. She was unruly. So she resisted, and she almost self-learned English. And then we had the blessings of computers and VPNs. Oh my God. So we could break through other websites. And that's how she got bigger and bigger and bigger. She got stronger. And then I got, against all the odds, into this prestigious university of my country. And no one believed it. Some people were crying in happiness when they heard I got into that like big university. And I was so happy, not because it was prestigious, because I knew, yes, now I can get my power to a whole new different level, because here's the place to join the others like me. And I did it in the very first week. I started my political activism at the age of 18. I'd read Western philosophy about the Reich, the Third Reich, and everything, like West and East. And then I joined this meeting, and I started my political activism. And I joined theater. Theater, I added to this story for very big reason of that was the drug that it was not theater for me. It was like, oh my God, this drug, like, give it to me, give more. So I was receiving this drug more into my veins, and I was getting more addicted to this emancipation of my body, of my feelings. The stage was the battlefield. I had found it finally. And, but the story doesn't go well yet. So sorry about that. But I would say when you want the power of knowledge, in my case, it's neither easy nor it is without costs. And you have to pay the cost. I did, and I tell you how. How, for example, this amount of hair, literally, like in a different type of scarf, like super tight and covering my breasts and everything. You have to go to university and organizations like that. So this amount, it could get me and every girl suspended from everything that they'd done to get to that prestigious university. So it was like my what do we call it? Flaked nail polish, like. It could easily get you into trouble. And you know, this scarf is a big deal. And this is beautiful. It's actually a handmade shawl. I bought it very expensive. But this is the artwork I decorate my cell, my prison cell with, so I can survive in the cell. So take it that way. Yes, those artists, I love them. They're making it easier to live in this, in 30 degrees in summer. So anyway, another price to pay was actually through my brother, one of my brothers. So he was this extremist Islamist person once upon a time. He was a teenager. He was beating me. He was the leash keeper whenever my father was away or other people were away. So he was keeping an eye on me and forcing me into like, you have to wear this, you have to wear that, and like really awful stuff. And he never apologized anyway. But shift in like 2-3 years from that extreme, he suddenly became an atheist. And even I wasn't an atheist. I was still wearing my hijab. I was like, still believing. I was saying my prayers 5 times. I was fine. I was a kid saying prayers to God. Like, I didn't care about anything else. And he was like, you have to become an atheist. Read this. This is Albert Camus. And read this. This is Franz Kafka. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, they lied to us. The prophet, he was a womanizer. They lied to us. And they did everything themselves. And I was like, okay, so, all right. Then I was going back to study my biology lessons. I was preparing for medical school. But anyway, that brother, later on, I started to be really an atheist. When I was in university, I started to be like that. I joined theater. Now I'm like, this girl is really on fire. And then he was angry. He was like, you don't have a right to have a job. I was an English teacher. You don't have to be in groups with boys and those stuff. And because why? Because you're coming home late. It's like you're not. You should be home by 9. Who says this? I say this. And I was like, you should leave theater stuff. Who says this? I say this, he said. So no matter what, by nature, by essence, I was incapable of living my life. And through the same brother, I got the next price to pay. And that was when I took a boyfriend in secrecy. Everyone's doing it in secret. So he told everyone. He knew my secrets because I was trusting him. Do you hear me? Yeah. I was trusting him, but he somehow gave it away, and I ended up in a forced marriage, basically. So being in a forced marriage, being in an abusive relationship, I figured, well, I have no way out of it by the law of the country, unless it is a mutual agreement for divorce. And I figured, okay, I'm gonna hope for better because the guy that I married to at the time was talking about Simone de Beauvoir. He was a poet. He was this photographer and artist and stuff. But it didn't work out either way. So I had to deal with the thing, and I put up with it, but I managed throughout those years of he being my other leash keeper, I would say. Throughout the same years, I got the scholarship now to the most prestigious country university in my country. And I was there, I was studying theater, and the biggest moment in my life happened that somebody told me about dance classes. And I started to dance. And here, it was a whole new level of liberation. It was like, oh man, this is something else. And I loved it. And I was really free and impossible to be leashed again. So my ex-husband, he didn't like it because sometimes we had in some workshops boys around, and he, for some reason, was thinking that the reason that I'm pushing for a divorce in those years is not because I want to break free from everything, is because his abuse. He thought that it's because like I want to have sex with other guys or something like that. But it was really tough to kind of convince the guy that, hey, it's your abuse, but he was not hearing it. So what he did, he's like, he raped me. So I think it speaks loudly for itself. He kind of stamped my body. It's like this sheep, this horse, this whatever it is mine. And you, the victim or whatever I was, you should remember that it's only me. So the thing is that my argument today to make, amongst other arguments, is that in such contexts, they first and foremost, they take the ownership of your body. And when your body received enough of traumas, then you're broken. And that is the point, that they own your mind. In my case, I didn't completely break. So I managed to get the divorce, basically. And I managed to get the dream of my life. That was a scholarship in dance studies. And I left Iran in those clothes, and I came to the free Europe to study in 4 countries, Norway, France, Hungary, and UK, to study dancing, to learn more. I was really hungry, thirsty for it, and I received it. But I was always careful. I was telling my fellas that, guys, I'm trying not to get into trouble yet. So but please don't share the videos and stuff. But somehow, somewhere, some video got out there, and I received some threats from the family. And then next thing is that I end up in this path that, for the safety reasons, again, the bottom line is my body, the reason, and I get into refugee shoes. But the whole point is that being thousands of miles away from these guys, I still felt and saw how my body is threatening them still. And I am actually a little bit in need of a break. So it's been an early day and all, and remembering all of this. But I suggest that we think about something, and that is some questions I started to have actually living in the free Europe. How still, because I'm a teacher, it's my field of academic studies, how still the new liberal, positivistic, for those who know the terminology, and how these democratic infrastructures are so smoothly Then they're getting under our skin and ruling how we would like and think about colors of skins, about types of bodies, about the uterus, about laws of abortion, about so many things that we don't think about it. We just have all of this stuff around us. So let's think about it and read about it. And if we could talk about it together. And was certainly so happy to share this with you. And I'm looking forward to share more with you guys. So thank you for being here today.